Now, hello, and welcome back to Each One Teach One podcast. And of course, I am your host, the Fabulous Camille Robb. But I have a treat for you guys. This lady is so busy that the president had to take time out of his schedule to find her. But I am so excited that she took out after traveling from one place to the other place to come and see me. I want to introduce to you a friend of mine. I call her my friend because she shows up. Only your friends that really care about you, they show up. Okay? Now, this young lady, Miss Rhonda Swan, is the founder of Woman Gone Wild, that wild global thing. Yes, I'm one of the ladies that's on her show. Yes, and I've been with Rhonda for a while, and she makes life easy. Now, she is the CEO of Unstoppable Branding. Go look it up. Now, this agency is the top tier PR and media firm. So if you don't know anything about PR, you need to find out about Rhonda. As not only being the bestseller of and the author and the host of the Rhonda Show, USA Today, she has helped thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs and thought leaders to amplify their message. And guess what she's getting ready to do? She's getting ready to drop a few little nuggets on you guys. So come on up. Let's have a conversation.
Hey, lady, how are you?
I am blessed. And I'm so glad you took time out to come and have a conversation with me. So what have you been up to? Talk to me.
Yeah, a lot. It's good to be here. Thank you so much. It's awesome because last time, we see each other quite often, but we were just in Las Vegas, with Tigo.
Yes.
And yeah, and we were in the book launch a couple of years ago. So I'm really, really, really good. I'm actually, I'm in LA right now. I live in Bali, right? But I've been here in LA, which has allowed me to jump around a lot more. I've been traveling around a lot more than I've been in the States than when I was coming back and forth. So it's really great to be here. Really on a big mission to keep, help elevate brands and help bring their message and their voice out into bigger platforms. And our next book in the Wild series is coming out. The leadership book comes out at the end of this year. So we're rocking over here.
Oh my goodness. Now, one of the big questions people ask all the time, and I know that's what you're into. How important is your brand?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that if you're wanting to leave an impact or support others, whether it's with your gifts or it's your services, or if you want to just be in support like you are, Camille, to so many lives, being someone that is seen or visible online is the most important. And always starting with building your personal brand is the most vital piece to not only building an amazing company, but leaving an impact. And this is why. Think about what happens when someone learns about you, or someone might share maybe about something that you're doing. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to Google your name. They're going to look for you. They're going to see, like, where's your social media? Like, what's happening with them? How do I learn about them? And if you're not visible and you're not being seen as the expert in your craft that you want to be known for, then what happens? They're actually going to start looking around for someone else that can solve their problem. So building your personal brand is probably the most important to building a business, to leaving an impact, or to supporting others.
Oh my God. Not only that you're the brand queen, but you are one of those sought after author. So give them a little bit about the books that you have written and why.
Yeah, well, I obviously I knew that part of building an awesome brand is to have a book, right? And so I did write my very first book 12 years ago. It was called Skills Are Cheap and Passion is Priceless. And it's a long story book about my family story into what I do on building a brand. And took me 8 years to write it, literally. I was like, writing books is terrible. I'll never do this again. I'm not kidding. And I wrote this book. It did really well on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon now. Skills are cheap, passion is priceless. However, about 5 years ago, I was actually in Bali with about 10 of my women clients, building their brands, doing their brand films, all the things that, we were doing. And we were all sitting and we're talking about the things that we do and the impact, but we were more importantly talking about our story and how we got there. And I'm sitting there with all of them and I'm like, why don't we write a book about this? Most women are not sitting around a table sharing their stories with each other and then teaching each other, which is why I love Each One Teach One, because it's like we were teaching each other what we knew and what we learned. And so I said, let's write a book and I will publish it and I will do all the PR and media for it. I'll help everyone, get their message out there. And we did that. And that was the book that you were actually in. I think we launched it in 2020. And it did really, really well. We had an amazing book launch. We had all kinds of fun. We went to Vegas and LA and New York. We did a big book tour. And I thought I was done writing books. So I was like, okay, I'm good. We did that one. Way to go. Of course, God would have it a different way, Camille.
Of course.
And I, during COVID, actually, I got a bad infection. And my body went completely sepsis. And this was a really scary moment in my life because during that time at COVID, when I lived in Bali, you couldn't get in and you couldn't get out. That meant medications couldn't get in and couldn't get out. And so people were actually dying in the hospitals because we didn't have the right antibiotics to support infections. So I remember this was a really crazy story. I woke up and I was getting ready to go into my office. And I looked in the mirror and I saw this red spot on my side of my waist and thought, well, that's really weird. I wonder what that is. But I didn't think anything of it. I was doing calls and my Zooms, like we were doing during COVID. But what happened is after 3 hours of work, I started to get really heavy and really, really tired. And if you know me at all, I don't get really tired very often. No. And I was like, man, something is wrong with me. And sure enough, I go back into the restroom and I look at this thing that was on my waist and it was moving up to my heart. It was a big red spot moving up to my heart. And I literally, in that moment, started to shake and started to, my whole body was convulsing. I sent a video to my doctor and he's like, get into the hospital right now. My husband actually ran upstairs and I was convulsing and they said, she's sepsis. Her body is infected. They had to do an emergency surgery, calm down my body. And I was literally, before I left, before they put me out, I was saying goodbye to my family because I didn't know if I was going to wake up. And it was so scary. However, obviously I did wake up. But what happened, there was a bit of a gap from waking up to still being unconscious. And it felt like a lucid dream to me. And I can remember it from this moment. And I was sitting I was laying in the hospital bed and I'm praying and I'm thanking God for giving me my life back. And I actually have American Indian heritage. My family's Cherokee Indian. And I actually brought my drum into the room and I'm laying and coming out and I'm singing, I'm praying and I'm playing my drum and I'm singing in the hospital room. And out of nowhere, these faces start coming. And I was kind of like in and out. And it was just really like a surreal moment. And these were spirits of women, like witches, women that burn at the stake, suppressed voices, and just faces, like women from all over the world. And they said, we need your voice. We need your help. If you're coming back, we need your help. And I was like, oh, I do already. I do. I share my voice. I do all these. And I'm kind of like fighting with God almost. Like, don't do that. And it was like, Rhonda, we need more from you. And sure enough, I said, okay, I'm in. I will be your vessel. I will, take on that role. And I came out of it. It was almost like a switch. I woke up and I had this instant download that I'm going to publish a series. And the series is wild and it means wealth, intuition, leadership, and diversity. 4 books, 25 women's stories in every single book. And I literally was like, okay, I'm doing it. And I was calling my husband. I was calling our publishers and they're like, what has happened to you? Like, I said, I just got, blessed by God. I have a message. The download was, I got to do this. And sure enough, this is, where it came from. And now we're already published the Wealth book and the Intuition of Wild. Leadership is this year, and next year is the Destiny book. And we'll have 4 books out of the series. And, we're sharing women's voices and their stories and helping them get seen around the world.
My whole body just felt chilled when you said all the faces, and I'm picturing it at the same time, all the different ancestors that have lived before and have helped kept you, or coming and telling you it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we need you for, and you answer by saying, yes, I will be that vessel. Too many people don't heed to the warning and the call, and you did. So that right there is a lesson by itself. Oh my God. I am so honored that you were able to share that.
Yeah, listen to the voices, listen to the message. God has a plan, and I actually find you don't obviously have to have a near-death experience to receive messages from God. That's one thing. However, I think for me in that moment, it was like that message needed to come through. And, I'm a busy person, and I've learned since then to really take that mindful time and to listen, right? Not just pray, but to listen. Because when we're praying, we're talking to God like, this is what I need. And God's like, can you shut up for a minute?
I need to get a word in here, please.
I really believe it. And so I've learned, learn, be quiet, be patient, and allow that, download or that message to come through.
Oh my God. That was an eye-opening. I felt that. And I appreciate that message. Now, one of the biggest paper running around now is the USA Today. Now, I want to get a little bit, not too much, just a little bit of how did you manage to partner up with such a big platform as USA Today?
Yes. Well, our first publisher actually did an article for us with our first book, and I was like, wow, that was such a big article to be published in. And being in PR and media already, what I do as a publicist with Unstoppable Branding Agency, we help build brands leveraging top tier PR and media. And I was like, I need a better relationship. I want a relationship with them so I can really help, support that. And it's taken about 4 years to actually finally get this relationship. And I actually have a $500,000 contract with USA Today, working directly with them, supporting clients with their message and their brands. And it was a big move, right? I had to put my name on the line to USA Today to say, listen, I'm going to work and find names, brands, and help bring you big stories. Because in reality, the more, if we can bring stories onto their platform, USA Today is 158 million viewers every single day on their websites. Wow. So I'm like, how do I leverage what they offer to help build the brands of our clients? And so that's what we've done. This year was I signed my life away basically to USA Today. Well, at least $500,000 worth of my energy. And, now we're direct partners with them. They sponsor a lot of my events. I publish a lot of our clients in their platforms. And we also, put my show. Now my show is aired on USA Today. So now the Rhonda Swan Show is on USA Today. So anyone I interview gets a full feature article in USA Today. So we're now taking not only podcasts and shows that are streaming onto a whole different level by placing them on USA Today's network.
Wow. Well, congratulations, because wow, you are out there doing your thing. Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is that with everything that's going on with the media, with the podcast, with this and that, how do you put everything together and have enough time for your daughter, have enough time for your husband? How do you put that together? Because a lot of people want to know that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the number one golden question, because when you're busy and you have a big mission, oftentimes family or your personal life can suffer. And however, over the years, I've really learned and have a great team. Like for you, I know Nim is your backbone, right, to this.
Yes.
You need a
Yes.
great team. And systems, number one, I'd say systems are the number one thing. To be able to have a system that runs your business and a team that can support it. Because for us, especially as entrepreneurs, when we're growing or when we're new, building our brand, we're like running, right? And I always tell people, make sure that you're saying yes to the things that will support the growth of your brand, right? And have those that are behind you that are willing to support that so that you can do your thing. Because we as entrepreneurs and CEOs and leaders, we need to be on the front end telling and sharing the message. And we need someone on the back end to support the work that we do. And that's the only way, right? Like I have so many things that I do on a daily basis. I'm traveling constantly now to New York and Dallas and all over. And of ways that I actually work with my daughter, and my daughter actually works with me now. She's a photographer. She does all the photography for my shows.
Yes.
She flies with me to New York. She works in my events, so that's an awesome thing. But our family really makes sure that we, find that fun time to be together. And in order to do that, I have to have a system behind me. Otherwise, I couldn't get any of it done.
And Nim is my system because trust me, woo, she stays on me like you've got to get this done, do this, make sure this is right. You forgot to do this. And half of the time I'm traveling here. She's like, okay, when you land, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, but I don't have time. Yes, you need to take care of this. So you are right. You have to have a system in place, and not only a system, but people that you could trust.
Yeah, that's really it.
People that you could trust. So now, what is the next big move that's coming up for you?
Yeah, well, our leadership book for Women Gone Wild comes out. I would love for everyone, please, wgwbook.com. Go on that list because we're right now starting to build the pre-sale list for those that are willing to help us become USA Today bestseller and a Success Magazine bestseller. And we're working towards New York Times New York Times bestseller. Times Square will be there, but not. That's how for the book. And, that would help us, support us. That's the big thing I'm working on now. I'm also founding a new event called Wild X, which tells your wild story. And we're partnering with TEDx. So anyone from a Wild X talk has the opportunity to also become a TEDx speaker. We do the American Idol for speakers, and they get judged, and we've got some celebrity speakers and judges that are coming forward. So that's something I'm doing in June. We'll do the next one again in August. So we'll start taking applications for that. But that's what I'm really working on this year, is getting this book really to be the household name that it deserves to be. I have a vision to have 80,000 women in a Coliseum sharing their wild story. And and we can only do that by those that are saying, yes, I believe in this, and sharing and listening and reading those stories and being part of it. So that's my big thing. And then the other is, just really launching our company to the next level. And I'm starting to work now. Obviously, I'm partners with FinTech TV and New York Stock Exchange, and my show is ready to take its own global stage. So, but it's a lot of fun. There's a lot going on, but when you're on a mission, you have find time to make it all happen.
And you do, and you do it with such grace, madam. You do it with such grace. You are just awarded the Influencer of the Year by Tigo with the
right
Trailblazer. I see it. So that was amazing. When I saw your family, oh my God, I am just so loving the whole vibes. You don't separate it. You said, okay, my husband is with me and my daughter is with me, and we're going to do this together. Now, of course, this is the Each One Teach One show, right? So I wanted to find out from you, what is it that you would teach that would pop just a little bit, because we don't want to give them too much. Just a little bit of what would you teach someone that want to learn from you?
Well, I think the most important, what I'm really known for, is really building your brand and sharing your message. And there's one formula that I actually use to help people be very succinct, because if your brand isn't clear, concise, and congruent with your message, then people will go to someone else. If you're making them use too much mental bandwidth to figure out how you can help them solve their problems, they will move on without realizing. And so I use this really simple formula to help people say what they do. And I always tell people, I help turn best kept secrets into world-renowned brands with PR and media. It's in very tight. You know exactly what I do. And so the formula is this. What is it that you do? And what is the desired outcome of your client? So what I do is I turn best kept secrets into world-renowned brands. But the desired outcome is they want to become a world-renowned brand with PR and media. So if you can turn your tagline into something very simple so that no one has to use mental bandwidth to figure it out. A lot of people get really creative and they're like, I am this spiritual healing, guru of all, which is fine, but I don't know what that means. How can you help me? So you need to let them know that I turn best kept secrets. You're a best kept secret, whoever's watching this. And I turn you into a world-renowned brand because that's what you want to become. And I do it with PR and media. So make sure that you use the formula, what I do and what's the desired outcome of my client. Because if you can keep it tight and they know exactly what you do without being overly creative, then they will say, oh, I need that. And they'll lean in. That gives you the opening to tell them more of what you do. So that's my simple secret.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And again, I have to say, thank you so much for stopping by. I know you're on a tight schedule and I so appreciate you coming.
I love you, girl.
I love you too, my sister. And you are exactly who are you? The brand queen, baby. The brand queen. So everyone out there, remember, you just met Miss Rhonda Swan, the brand queen, unstoppable, on Each One Teach One podcast. So, okay. Now,
thank you, dear.
I'm going to step back a little bit and do a little one-on-one. I know you have to go. I appreciate your time. So thank you so much. And for ladies, the book is out. There's books.
Your book is out. Yes.
That's it. You want to be a part of this. You want to, it's a movement. It's a world movement. I'll put it like that. This is a world movement. And if you want to be a part of it, it's simple. Rhonda Swan is everywhere. Everywhere. She might live in Bali. Right now, she's in New York. She's in Texas. She's here, there, and everywhere. So come on. Let's go on an adventure together and see, because I've been into some places that Rhonda Swan helped me to get to. Been into some magazines that she put me into. People deserve to know who you are and what your brand is about and how you serve others. So don't be that secret. Let's shout it from the rooftop. And I'm looking forward to it. Well, let's go.
Let's go, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Please definitely follow me on my social media. I love to give as much free content as I possibly can. And I would love for you to definitely get access to the Women Gone Wild book series. Camille was in our first book. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. It's all over. Just search it up, Women Gone Wild book, or wgwbook.com. And I'd love to see you there and help you share your message.
All right.
Thanks, darling. Thanks, everyone. Thank Thanks, Nim.
So, all right, guys. You guys have heard it and you have seen it. This is one of the golden nuggets you'll never forget. So, let me come closer so you can see it. Stay blessed, stay safe, and stay absolutely fabulous, darling. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for coming. Hello, and welcome to Each One Teach One podcast. I am your host, the Fabulous Camille Robb. There's a spark inside every heart waiting for love. Come on up. Let's have a conversation.
I love that you keep calling me young lady. Like, that's so fun.
But a success story or a milestone is something that you're particularly proud of.
Ooh, I'm proud of honoring you as the Global Mother of the Year.
Yes.
I am absolutely proud of that.
So I am Dr. Shatira. I grew up here in Chicago, Illinois. My life had many afflictions like most. But I say afflictions, I would say lessons of love. That's what I'll say.
Don't stop, they only grow like rivers of love. They endlessly flow. We love you so much. Truly care. From the shadows to the sun, the mission is clear. Each one teach one. Let the whole world hear. Let the rhythm set me free so I can dance. We're healing the world, giving love.
Stay safe and stay absolutely fabulous. And I'll talk to you soon.
Each one teach one. Everyone, I'm blessed to be a blessing to others.
See you soon.